Hello everyone and Happy New Year. Welcome to another stream. Hopefully you guys can all hear me well and everything. Slight different audio setup today, but welcome. So I decided I was going to build a set. And I've actually had this set for quite a long time. So back in 2020, I want to say, sometime in 2020, I feel like it was summer or maybe late summer, early fall of 2020. I got this set, and the way I got this actually was I was a patron for BrickLink, or his YouTube channel, and I actually one of the perks was essentially like if you were the highest patron, you could, it was like $100 a month or something, you could pick a set that you wanted and he would build it and then he would ship it to you as long as it cost $100 or less. So I saved up 2 months worth of that credit, so I paid $100 a month to him, and then he purchased the Stranger Things set, which I believe was $200. And then essentially he built it, and then he disassembled it, and then he sent it to me. So that is where we're at now. And I got this, fall of 2020, and I've been saying I need to build it for however long. And then the other day, a couple days ago, I had this random desire to sit down and build a set, and this is what I got. So I started on this. I want to say hello to everyone who's here. Hopefully everyone can hear me. But we have Cynthia, welcome to the stream. Doug, welcome to the stream. Daddy-O's Bricks, or Bill. Fun Brick Creations, welcome to the stream. JB's Brick Kiln. Cynthia already said that. And James. So everyone, welcome. James says no stream. Where are you? I think that was probably when it said we'll be starting soon. I assume. Chris, hello. Who else? Willie Brick Store, welcome to the stream. How is everyone? Happy New Year. This is just a kind of a random stream. Technically, we're supposed to do, Evan, volume is really low. I assume on me the volume is really low. I can make some adjustments to that. So that should help, hopefully a little bit, and hopefully it doesn't make a terrible buzzing or anything. But yes, what is everyone doing today on New Year's Eve? I was getting somewhere with what I was saying. I don't remember what it was. My laptop's over here, so it's like not in the vicinity at all of being in front of me. But so I'll try to follow along with chat here and stuff. But yeah, I just decided I was going to build a set. Usually, I know where I was going. This is usually something we do on the first weekend of each month, but I wanted to do something today. So yeah. All right. So this is what I got built so far from the other day. So I don't know how big that is or anything on screen, but essentially I believe it's the top layer of the right side up portion of the world. So this will be up like this, and then there'll also be something that is upside down underneath. And we got a little bit of detail inside the house there. There's like a bed and kind of a little thing inside there. It's probably out of focus and stuff. The Brick Store says it's 23 o'clock here, counting down. There you go, 1 hour, and then you are, it is in the new year for you. Yeah, so I still have 10 hours here before we're in the new year. I thought it'd be fun to ring in the new year like live with everyone and do like each time zone and stream for like 12 hours or something. Unfortunately, I think that's a bigger production if we wanted to do that, and Paul is out of town. So he's actually visiting his grandmother in Arizona, so I am here alone for the new year. Or for now, at least. I'll go somewhere later, but yeah, so I'm just going to start building now and chat with everyone, and if you have any questions or whatever, let me know. If the music's too quiet or too loud, also let me know. I tried to set it, but I was very out of time here. Okay. Now it's been a couple days since I was working on this, so I honestly don't know exactly where I was. And like I said, chat's way out of the way, so I'm probably not going to see a whole lot of chat, and I apologize in advance for that. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger so I see it every time it moves. There's a way to do that. Top chat, we want live chat. Okay, there we go. That should be better. Fumber Creation says halfway through building the Eiffel Tower. Put a sneak peek up on YouTube channel as a short video. Very nice. Everyone's asking about the weather. Everyone's saying wet and rainy. It is also wet and rainy here, which is rare. It doesn't generally rain a whole lot. Cynthia, you're on the east or the west coast. because it says 2 p.m. Are you in California? I don't think, not from what I remember. I feel like you're Oregon or Washington or something, unless I'm totally wrong. But yeah, it's nice and wet and rainy here in Southern California, which is quite nice. Okay, now I gotta figure out where I'm at. And I don't know how long I'm gonna stream today. You know, we'll see how many people are sticking around and stuff. Okay, Cynthia is in California. Very nice. Yeah, the downside to this and how I got this is, unfortunately, it is completely... these are the parts. There's this separate bag, but this is mostly, I think, for like the trees pieces that click together, the upside down and the right side up worlds. But these are all the parts. They weren't bagged, you know, number properly or whatever you want to say, in terms of there being bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, and you build each thing. So I built the car the other day. This was bagged separate, and then all the minifig parts were bagged separate. But the rest of it, excluding some leaf pieces and stuff over here, the rest of it is just poured all in one bag. So unfortunately, yeah. So this has been a challenge. It's been hard to dig through all the parts and look for everything. I thought about organizing and stuff, but I never did that. Willie Brick Store says, I was contemplating the other day, just a brick in the bucket started about the same time as I did, but you guys grew much bigger than me. Congrats to you, doing a great job. Thank you. Yes. So, you know, if that's, you know, something with that Paul and I've kind of learned is, well, obviously the natural thing is to compare yourself to other stores. It's a hard metric because there's so many factors playing in, you know, based on location, based on where you can source things. Are you doing new? Are you doing used? Do you have the ability to grow larger just based on the space you have in your house or location or whatever? There's a lot of different things that I just got the weirdest looking notification on my watch. Oh, it must have updated. Cool. There's a lot of factors that play into it. So if you look at, like, for example, we maybe are larger than you and we started around the same time and stuff. But if we look at something like, you know, David from DNA Bricks, I know we bring him up a lot, but, you know, something like him, he started after us and he's way larger than us. And then there's other people like Chris from the Great Brick Lab who, you know, started a long time ago and just have a nice slow and steady pace creeping up and growing. And then there's people like Doug who worked really, really hard in all this pre-production or something, you know, worked really hard to build up the infrastructure and everything and source all this stuff, and then he's now growing, you know, quite large and stuff as well, even though technically he started officially really recently. His store in terms of speed is going to appear to grow really, really, really fast just because, you know, just because of how, the way he did it in terms of, I don't want to say practicing, but like working really hard before opening the store and building everything up. Whereas we, you know, I had it a few years ago. I can't say that now because we're actually 3 years old as of today. We opened today in 2019, like this afternoon. So we're 3 years old today, which is kind of exciting in terms of the business. But I started years before that, like 5 years before that or something, and had a few orders here and there. But we didn't really start growing until, you know, right now, 3 years ago. And it took us, you know, however long to get to 530,000 pieces like we have. And obviously we've had a lot of iterations in the garage of different drawers, different places, different storage methods. We've tried a lot of things. So, you know, there's a lot of trial and error and stuff in terms of growing. And then, of course, there's all those factors that play in. Funberg Creation says, hot and humid, 30 degrees Celsius here in the middle of summer. Chris says, I just reached 100,000 parts and it took me 8 years. Well, congratulations. That's a great number. For us, you know, our initial goal, and I'm still looking for this 1x2x2 brick with studs on sides. But our goal initially, when we first started, I have a good feeling I'm not going to build much in this stream. I do want to find this piece though. Here it is. When we first started, we had this goal of hitting 1 million parts. And obviously we were doing all new at the time and stuff, so that goal was, I would almost say easier actually with new. It would cost more, but I think it's easier to achieve and try to get to that big number of 1 million pieces. And for whatever reason, that was the goal we set. And once we, realized that was a hard goal to get to, or maybe more realistically, once we realized that was a goal that was achievable but didn't actually mean anything. Wait, hold on, I did something wrong. Sorry. Once we hit that thing that was oh, okay, I see. Wait, what is happening? Oh, I got it. That's when we changed and looked at stuff. So you can't base this. Sorry, what I'm trying to get here is you can't base a store entirely based on part count or anything, or even sales, just because there's so many other factors that are, some people don't want to be the biggest store. There's a lot of different things that are kind of playing in. I don't know what I'm trying to get at here, to be totally honest with you. I'm just trying to build now. Is that out of the frame? I feel like that's out of the frame. There. I also, since I had spread all the pieces out, there's not a good spot for anything, which is kind of sad. Funbrick Creation says I had my store for almost 3 years. I've been uploading to my channel for almost 4 years. And I'm about 530 subscribers. How many parts do you have in your store, Funbrick Creations? Doug says, thanks, I've been working on things now to organize so that I can have multiple people here at once doing things. Nice. Yeah, that took us a while too. And some of the sad truth was we obviously, as we've mentioned in the past, we had to move inside the house in terms of the processing of actually cataloging. So over the summer we hired an additional person who came in and cataloged for us, and that meant him and Paul, his name was Connor and Paul every day cataloged. Or I think Connor only worked 4 days a week, but Paul worked 5 or whatever. So that, with the picking staff that was in the garage, and some days there were 2 people picking in the garage, that was that sad truth of we had so many people finally working at the business that if they were all working at the same time, it didn't work, and we had to organize and do all these different things. And for a long time we really wanted to get rid of the table that we have in the center of the garage, and we started off with that table in the center of the garage just being our cataloging table. It was like a white folding table, or 2 of them put together at one point, and then that slowly decreased, and then eventually we realized the one computer in the garage was not enough. So we had one in there where people could reassign, they could print shipping labels, whatever it was, but then we needed a second one because we had 2 people in the garage at the same time trying to do similar tasks or completely different tasks, but they both needed a computer. So then came that thing of okay, well, now this middle table that at one point was just a cataloging table, which we were planning to get rid of so we could put more drawers there. Unfortunately, now we have to have a table here and have another computer on it so someone else can be doing a job. That kind of happened, and it was all these little things where we realized this one thing we had for a while doesn't work anymore, and we had to keep building up and up and up. And there was a lot of organization that we've had to work on recently too, actually, just in terms of making sure things actually happen, or there's a process. So if one person leaves things in the garage and someone else comes in later, you can for the most part pick up in the same area. And there's a lot of communication too now, whereas in the beginning communication was not our strongest thing, and now it's if someone's leaving the garage there's a text that's sent, or there's a note that's left there. So for the most part, communication is much better, but that's a big thing with growing as well, is learning that communication in the channels of who needs to know what in order for a job to get done. This is taking forever just because I have to find pieces. And this is a pearl gold piece I'm looking for, and I wouldn't think it'd be that hard because there's no pearl gold. There it is. Just Bricks says, I'm so glad to finally be out of the office space. It's nice to not have moving the inventory to storage occupying space in my mind. That is good. For those of you who maybe don't know, Just Bricks, unless anything changed, had decided to pause for a little while. Was the reasoning until you could move it into your house or something? Is that what it was? I don't quite remember, but I do remember you're pausing it, and so it sounds like your lease is up and you made all the move and everything. And I did see, I think, a short or something you posted the other day. Or no, maybe it was in the Discord. That might have been today, actually, that the move has started, and I saw all your bins and stuff stacked up. Doug says maybe spend some time doing a quick part sort. I thought about that. I have some like large plates over here, and the minifig stuff is over here, and that would be worth it, but then it's less fun, which is also probably not true. I have had a desire, and actually I was with Kyle the other day, and he had a desire as well. He was like, we should part out a set again, and do like another part out party or something. However, we don't have any sets currently to part out. We have not done new, now that I replied to someone in the Discord today, and I had to go back and check. We've not done part out a new set in a year, or over a year, which is crazy. And kind of sad. And it's something I really, really want to get back into, is doing new. We're really stuck in this weird thing where, like, I really want to do new, but the garage is pretty full, and I think it would be hard to get new in there as well, because we don't do, the goal is not to combine new and used pieces in the same drawer, or like, mixing everything up. So it's gonna be, I don't know exactly the best way to go about it, and it honestly might have to wait until we move out of the garage and stuff, which we've been saying for like, I don't even know, 2 years now that we're trying to move out. We have no date at this point anymore. The goal at some point was 2022, sometime in this year. I think the goal at one point was actually 2021, but that didn't happen, nor do I think that was a good idea. And then the goal was 2022, but I think we're really trying to hold out as long as we can, just to not have that burden, I guess, of a rent payment every month. Because ideally, it's, if you can avoid paying rent, that would be better. The downside is there will be a point, and I think we can probably fit 600,000. I don't remember. I've said numbers in the past. Currently, based on the way we have stuff, we've added more drawers and everything. I do believe we can fit 600,000 pieces in the garage, no problem. I'd say maybe 650, 700 if we really, really, really push it, or add some more drawer units somewhere else. So we can definitely add a little more to the garage. We're at like 530,000 parts right now. Back when we were at like 250,000, I think the thought was, maybe we can fit 500,000 in here. Obviously we did that. Got a little creative with some storage methods for sure. Or not creative, just inefficient, I think. But I think we'll be at 600,000 pieces before we move the garage. Probably 22 to 25,000 lots, somewhere in there, before we actually move out. Probably around there. That would be my thought. Funberg Creation says, got a heap of used part out. I might make some of it into a video. Doug says, yeah, hold on as long as you can for sure. Increases other costs all over having that space. Oh, yeah. Expenses in general will go up, obviously, more than just the X amount of rent, because there's a lot of other things. Especially not one that is where you live. That is true. Yeah, so we want to move and stuff. That's definitely the desire. And one thing with moving is we can scale up significantly. I just saw this piece. Here it is. We can scale up quite a bit, which we don't really have the ability to do in the garage in terms of staff members. So, right now, or not right now, but kind of the past however long, in terms of people who work on property, it's mostly either friends, or a friend of a friend, or someone that we know indirectly or directly, or family members that come and work on property and stuff. We have contractors who we don't necessarily know, but they work and sort off property. But in order for us to get people on property that can be like full-time pickers or full-time catalogers that just work here all the time and have like a larger staff, we need to move off property. However, I'm worried that we're going to hit our maximum size in the garage and potentially financially not be able to move off property. And at that point, I think we're in kind of a catch-22, because in order to increase sales, we kind of need to move in order to get more staff members and stuff. but in order to move, we need to increase sales. So I'm concerned that could be a point at which we hit. I don't know that it'll be a huge problem. I think we will end up being okay. But that is, that is something I'm thinking about in the back of my head. What if we can't? That's definitely a thought. Just Brick updates us, or gave us an update and said, yeah, sorry, I was a little behind in the lab. My lease was ending at the end of the year, so I wanted to spend more time with my wife and daughter, so the store in the storage until we get a house. Okay. Thankfully, my cousin let me store in his basement for the time being, so it isn't costing anything extra. That's very nice. That is pretty good. You did have a lot in that picture. We got 14 people watching. I never posted in the Discord that I was doing this. That could be part of why. Doug says, I would suggest looking into ways to outsource, location-wise, some of the tasks that are done in the garage such that you can dedicate more of the space to parts. And Just Brick says, just heading back to the office now to finish up some cleaning before I turn in the keys. That's kind of... I understand why you did it, but I do feel that's kind of sad, like... Because it was really cool when you got the space. So you've had the lease for a year then, I guess. Yeah, that is kind of sad, but at the same time, I totally understand why you're doing it, and it makes sense until you guys can get a house and stuff and move it into there, and then you can be home more instead of being somewhere else. Especially because you have a full-time job and a family. Yeah, so Doug, in terms of answering that question, the majority of what gets done in the garage, I suppose, could be done on one computer, but right now we do a lot of reassignment, which is essentially, taking a drawer and moving a piece from one drawer to another or whatever that might be. So when it comes, to that, there's the picking that gets done, and then the verification of orders, which is done at a computer. To go over it one more time, we use Brick Freedom on a pick sheet to actually pick, not on a pick sheet, on an iPad. To pick, but then when we verify, we just use BrickLink or BrickOwl to actually look at the orders and double check everything, and then we create a shipping label and actually package it up on part of the desk. And then on the other desk, that's mostly the reassignment station, because someone's usually verifying, and that takes a few hours, while the other person can be doing reassignment to get all those drawers updated. Because the downside is reassignment, unfortunately, if it is done while there is a pending order, it's really stupid. The remark or the location of the piece, or the remark, D1234 or whatever, drawer 120, you know what I'm saying? That is static on the pick sheet or on the order page. So if I take a piece, let's say I have 100 of these little 4x4 tiles with studs on one side. If I have 100 of these, someone orders 10. And then I don't pick the order yet, but I move these from one location into another. The pick sheet will now show us the old location, even though the pieces have moved. They don't update. So that's why we then, I don't know why we would have moved it if, that doesn't always happen. But so theoretically, once you pick all your orders, you want to do reassignment quickly before orders pile up. Now that's not usually a problem, because a lot of the time we're moving a piece from one drawer to another, because you might have two drawers that are half empty. Most of our reassignment, some of it's from consolidation, where we're putting a part in a drawer and then we have to move it to a bigger drawer, say. This is answering your question, Doug, about coming down to the consolidation process. A lot of it also is, if we sell out of, let's say we have two pieces in a drawer, or two different lots in a drawer. If we sell out of a complete lot, there might be half empty of a drawer. And it's not always the best for us to just move those pieces in the house, or those drawers in the house, and then add into those drawers, because now when someone's picking, unfortunately, it's like, oh, where is this drawer? And then we spend time looking on the wall, maybe we put it back in the wrong spot, and then it's like, oh, actually, I'm going to ask them if it's in the house. and then it's in a different location. So it's a pain in order to find that. So when we have two half-empty drawers, generally we take one drawer that's half empty and put it in the empty half of a second drawer. Now we have a full empty drawer, and no pieces are in that full empty drawer, so that can go in the house or off property or whatever it is, wherever it wants to go technically, and add pieces into it before it gets put into the inventory and put back on the wall. So that's where we do a lot of the reassignment, is combining the half drawers essentially. So there is the consolidation where obviously sometimes you have a big drawer or you have a small drawer and then it overflows and you have to move it. But that is less of a problem. That's a huge time sink to do that, but that's less of a problem of happening when there are orders pending. Because that's like an end of the day task when parts get added and stuff, versus like picking orders is usually a top of the day, where everything has to get done. Just Brick says, yeah, more time and lower overhead. I don't mind paying rent, quote unquote rent, to myself towards the mortgage, but $550 a month to someone else was just painful. Yeah. The space itself, though, was perfect for BrickLink. Doug says, I agree, just Brick's paying yourself is one thing, and then something you should do. And the space was almost perfect. I think the staircase was a bit much. Oh, stairs. Pup says, less talking, more building. I'm trying, but it's really hard to talk and build and read. And I'm looking for a printed piece that there's one of. And it's a 2x3 dark blue tile, though, so that shouldn't be too hard. Wow, Thumber Crew says, once I finish building the Eiffel Tower, I'll build the Titanic. Correct me if I'm wrong, but once you build stuff, you then move it, or do you disassemble some of your stuff, and then, like, what do you do with it? Because you have a lot of big sets, like the Eiffel Tower's big, Titanic's massive, you have Hogwarts, like, you have a lot of stuff. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this when it's built, to be totally honest with you. Probably should have thought about that. That's actually kind of the majority of the reason why it hasn't been built. Because I'm constantly like, well, where am I going to put it? And now I don't know. We'll figure it out. Because we're out of space in the garage to like put things. I built all those little shelves for the small architecture, like skyline sets, but yeah, I will have to find a home for this one. I don't think the garage is a home for it. I do still want to get the Coliseum, because we have this coffee table. And the top of the coffee table is glass, and inside there's currently two drawers. There's a bottom drawer and there's a top drawer, and the top drawer is like pretty thin. You can put like books and stuff in there kind of as decoration or whatever. But the bottom drawer, if you pull that out, you could take out the piece of wood that separates the top and the bottom drawer and just attach the drawer faces together, so it's one deep drawer now, and the Coliseum would fit perfectly in there, and you could look down into the glass through it. It'd look really, really nice. And I've been saying that for a while now. I just have not done it, but I do think that is a set I still want. I probably should buy it before they retire it. But that's just a big set. But that has a home already. You know, it's literally a perfect fit. I mean, it's not tight. Technically, the Coliseum's a little bit too small for the space, but it's very, very cool. Maybe one day I will do that and I'll share it, but who knows? Just Brick says, the stairs were definitely not great. By the time I leave tonight, I'll have climbed over 75 flights of stairs. Nice. I think, for me at least, less stairs are like just in general a concern, and more of like moving things up and down the stairs that would be annoying. Like the stairs themselves I wouldn't mind, but yeah, the moving of things constantly would get annoying, I would imagine. Okay, we're putting the roof on. Can you see this at all? Yeah, kinda. Just on the edge of frame. Here goes the roof. on one little part. I don't expect to have the top of this built by the time I'm done here, because this, well, no, probably not. Is this the whole thing? Maybe. I don't know. There's 2 instruction books. There's a second one somewhere. I don't know. We might get through this first one. We'll see. I don't know how long I'm going to stream today. I think I mentioned that in the beginning. This is just for anyone who wants to chat. I really wanted to do this the other night when I was building this. I had this like crazy desire to stream while building and stuff. Whoa. What? Yeah. But I didn't do it because then I would have had to set everything up and it would have been a pain. But yeah. I don't think for the most part people enjoy watching the building though. At least it doesn't seem that way. It seems for the most part people, you know, if we're parting something out or if we're, not that we've done that in a while, but, you know, things like that people seem to enjoy. But they don't seem to... The thing with our channel is we are specific selling. You know, specific BrickLink / BrickOwl. Whereas we are not a general Lego channel. And people definitely don't care about the building. They care about, like, the process of bricklinking or whatever. Yeah, Just Brick says, stairs are fine as long as you never have to move again. 1 trip at a time is fine. 75 is torture. Right. That yeah. That makes sense. I'm sure the load in and load out is a big pain. And obviously you're doing the load out now, but yeah. Something I noticed with this instruction booklet, and again, it's been a very long time since I've really sat and built a set like this, but the colors are awful. Like the printing. Yes, some sets I disassemble and part out as used. I have a spot for the Eiffel Tower and I'll probably store the Titanic back in the box until I move house and rebuild it. I'll do the same with the Coliseum whenever I move. I enjoy all your streams and videos on all the different content. Well, thank you. Honestly, most people don't enjoy this, and I don't know that I really would either. I don't think I would sit down and watch this. Probably not. Something I want to do for, and you know, this is just talking, but something, you know, we're trying to do for 2023 is stabilize our YouTube channel in terms of like what we actually do, and get something more consistent and figure out what it is we want to do with the YouTube, because there's that balance. This seems like such a dumb way to do this. There's like that hard finding a balance as to how much time we want to spend doing YouTube versus how much time we should be spending parting, you know, sorting or cataloging or whatever. So, and our channel has slowly, over the past year, I'd say, started kind of fading away, and like slightly dying, if you will. Just because we're not posting consistently, we're not, you know, we're just doing kind of whatever, which for sure is not helping. When we were, you know, 2020, early 2021, we were posting like weekly, or posting, you know, 2 or 3 things a week, or two videos and a stream, or whatever it was. It was going very well, and we were getting a lot of engagement and stuff. But that has unfortunately faded. Understandably though, since we've really focused on the business side of trying to run the physical sales operation of the business. Because I do consider YouTube part of the business, but it is definitely it takes a back seat whenever anything else really needs to get done. And if we could find a way to make it profitable, or more profitable, profitable, because this is not profitable at all, what we do on YouTube. But if we could find a way to make more money than it costs us in terms of time, that'd be great. However, that's a challenge, and I think that's a commitment that, like, you know, if we could, yeah, actually, I don't even know. I was gonna say it's part of that concept of, like, same thing where I feel like if we were making a little more money, we could move out. However, in order to move out, we need to make a little more money. Good evening, Ben. Happy New Year. You're like 20 minutes away, I think, right? So it's that catch-22 almost, where it's like, I think if we made a little more money on YouTube, we could justify doing it. However, in order to justify doing it, we need to be making a little more money, and it doesn't make sense right now to put that investment in to really try to bolster the YouTube channel and stuff. Happy New Year. Oh, an hour and 20. Okay, you're close. You're close. Very cool. I am building the Stranger Things upside down set and talking. That's pretty much it. And I poured all the pieces out because they were bagged, as it was a used set that was given to me. Yeah, Willie Brick Store, 20 minutes away. Very, very cool. It's just a lot of searching for pieces, which is a bummer. What should I talk about, guys? I need another talking point. I run out of talking stuff. This is the same piece I was looking for earlier. There's the 1x2x2 dark bluish gray brick with studs on the side. And when I was looking for this piece earlier, I also lost my train of thought and I couldn't think. And I couldn't talk. Here it is. Okay. Southwest Bricks UK says, hi, love the channel and the podcast. Also enjoy listening and relating to your progress. Don't feel like I'm on my own. Ah, perfect. Yeah, no one's on their own. We're all in it together. Thank you for tuning in to the live stream. Welcome. I don't believe, maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't believe we've seen you before. So very, very cool. The podcasts are something we started, specifically Brickside Chat, I think, is mostly what people listen to. I thought about doing one more podcast that was like similar, but not exactly the same. But kind of a similar BrickLink specific format. Whereas Brickside Chat is, oh no, I did this wrong. Bummer. Wait. Oh wow, I did this. Oh wait. Okay, hold on. Yeah. That's the wrong piece. Sorry. Brickside Chat is like not specific BrickLink. Obviously, that's where we can pull in any of our knowledge from. Is from BrickLink, because that's the only business we've run. However, we try to pull in other concepts. You know, not just in terms of what we talk about and the topics and stuff. We don't just do. It's not BrickLink specific. I was going to do potentially a podcast that was BrickLink specific, talking with other sellers and stuff and kind of interviewing them, but that never came to fruition. Mostly because I couldn't find a format that wasn't going to get repetitive after like 2 shows. But I thought it'd be really fun to get people to call in and kind of talk to them about their store and their process of running their store and what they think makes their store unique, yada yada yada, whatever. Maybe. And maybe if Brickside Chat continues doing well and stuff, because it actually, people seem to enjoy it and be listening to it on other platforms besides just YouTube. So, maybe if that's the case, we can explore something else. It just didn't happen. Okay, now I have a little bit of chat to catch up with. Ben says, how's the store been? If you're talking to me, the store's been doing... It's been doing pretty well. However, it's, like I kind of just mentioned a minute ago, it's that catch-22 where we need just a little bit more to move out, but we're almost maxed out in the garage. And I'm a little bit worried about that moving out. Hitting a point where we can't quite move out, but we cannot expand the garage at all. But we'll see. I've been saying that for a while now, so not entirely sure. But in sales and stuff, the store's actually been going pretty well. Piece count's at an all-time high. Lot count, we're hovering right around 20,000 consolidated. That's what we've been at, you know, for quite a while now. I think we got up to like, I can't remember if we got to 21,000 or we were like just right there. But we just haven't been able to keep that, unfortunately. Just, you know, we add a lot and someone buys it, which is great. That's exactly what they're for. But it is definitely difficult to keep the lot count up. Just Brick says, I honestly don't think I'll be up at midnight. I wasn't going to, but then my friend was like, hey, come over. And I'm like, okay. And then now I'll be up at midnight. So yeah. I feel like I'm doing something, like, I don't know when you guys build sets. Also, I'm distracted, obviously, right now. But when you guys build sets, do you notice that, like, you go to put a piece somewhere and then you didn't fulfill another step prior to that, and you have to now find those pieces or whatever, or like backtrack and finish it. There it is. Random video game player, welcome to the stream. What's your opinion on the new sets coming out tomorrow? I want the minifigs. In all honesty, I haven't looked a whole lot at the new stuff, but the Series 24, I believe. The Series 24 minifigs look pretty nice, or pretty cool. They're fun. Honestly, though, I really, for the most part, like the CMF figs. Because they're unique. You don't get them in other sets. It's just they're kind of fun. They're little one-off things you can kind of buy. But in all honesty, I haven't looked at the sets really. Again, since we've stopped doing new, and I guess it's not totally relevant, but since we stopped doing new, the sets don't pop up like they would when we were shopping for things, so I don't see those ads anymore. Yeah, and that's just how it is, I guess. And this isn't the place for it, but I love ads, like advertisements and stuff, because generally, you know, if they're doing it right, they're relevant to things you've searched for, whatever. And so that's why when we were looking for Lego and stuff that was new, they'd pop up and we'd see all the new things coming out and whatever, and now we just don't. Yeah, so I don't know. Willie Brick says you should do that with international stores, and then Ben said that would be cool. Yeah, maybe that's a 2023 thing. Another thing is with the channel, it's like that is a piece of content that, you know, another podcast. You know, maybe yeah, 2023 would be cool though. But that's another piece of content that we're creating, and it's just difficult to make more content that's not that, and I don't want to become like podcast only, you know, because that obviously people want to see the visual of the store and stuff, and like the how-to type things, which we've been really slacking on. You know, we've done a couple brick store quick tip type things, but for the most part, we have not haven't been posting a ton of like how-tos or store tours or whatever that might be. Necto, welcome to the stream. How are you? Haven't seen you here before, from what I remember. Southwest Bricks UK says, thanks for the welcome. Yes, first timer to the chat. Question, do you think the UK or European market differs from the US market? Example, sets not originally available in the USA, 6-month average is shared, etc. I don't believe the 6-month sales average is shared. I thought that was separate based on where you are located. Maybe I'm incorrect in that, but I thought the 6-month sales average was separate, or maybe it's based on, what is it? Based on currency? Maybe I'm totally wrong in that. But yes, I do think the markets for sure differ. Obviously, sets, I think to get on discount here, at least from what I've heard, obviously I've never been or I've never been buying Lego in the UK or whatever, or in, I don't know why I say UK, but in Europe, so I'm not entirely sure. According to David, 6-month average is global. You can sort the price guide by currency. Gotcha. Yeah, I do think the markets are different, mostly based on the source. And from what I hear, it's extremely expensive to ship within the UK, or within... Why? UK is not Europe. It's not. There's so much more. It does seem expensive to ship within Europe for some reason. More expensive than it is here. So that could be part of it. But yeah, not entirely sure there. Okay, I'm looking for a 1x3 reddish brown tile, and I can't find it. Very exciting. Random video game players has been subbed to you for a while, and I'm glad I got this live stream. Yes, very welcome. Sorry, that sounded like I said you're very welcome. I was trying to say welcome. Very exciting that you made it live. That's what I was trying to say. Just Brick says, every time I'm building, I find a missing piece in a previous step, and I have to hunt down where it goes. Not as bad as Paul with Hogwarts, though. Yeah, Paul with that was an experience. That was an atrocious. We finally took the bag of extra pieces he had, and I mean it's a big bag, and they're not supposed to be extra. And we finally it got sorted in a sort, and it's maybe in our store now. But yeah, very very interesting. How many steps he missed, obviously, and I'm experiencing this right now. Streaming and talking and following an instruction booklet and stuff is honestly quite difficult. It seems like it'd be so easy to just talk and do things, but talking and multitasking with like thought processes of things going on and focusing on this is actually quite a challenge. Necto says they're going to be picking an order at BrickLink videos again. Sorry if you already answered this question, but I must have missed it. I didn't answer that question directly. That was, maybe part of... Should I just give up and not use this piece? That was part of a conversation I sort of had with you guys, or a few minutes ago, about the YouTube channel moving forward and stuff, and us looking at how to try to make it profitable and stuff. There will probably be more. I don't know how often. I don't know when. But yes, there will most likely be more. But for people who want to purchase and request that, I can't guarantee by any means that you'll be able to request that and it'll be fulfilled on camera and stuff. Just because if we're processing, 300 orders a month or whatever, and 2 people say, hey, can you pack this on camera? Then, it doesn't make sense for us to wait that long. I also briefly talked a few minutes ago about the reassignment, and when you move a drawer or a piece from one drawer to another, if you have a half-empty drawer, whatever it might be, if you move that piece, it doesn't update on BrickLink. So now if we have an order that's like 3 weeks old that we're going to pack on camera, maybe, but most likely the remarks will not be the same. So unfortunately, then it's a whole pain to go find where that piece moved to and all these other things. So yeah, I'm not saying no that we won't do more picking videos, because we probably will, but it's really hard to do so with people who request it, because we can't honestly, I don't know how many, but there was a period where probably 10 orders a month were being requested to pick on camera, and it's just, we can't unfortunately do that. It's just it's hard to do that. That's too many. But yes, we probably will. UK domestic shipping is very cheap in my opinion. Yeah, 96 pence to send a 4-ounce package. That is very good. Whereas for us to send a 4-ounce package, depending where it's going within the U.S., obviously the U.S. is a little bigger, but I think the minimum we can get is like $3.23 or something like that, which is definitely more expensive. But I don't know exactly, but I believe within Europe, like let's say you're shipping it from France to Italy or something, that's where I think the price goes up when it's crossing internationally. Or Ben, how much is it, for example, to ship from the UK to Italy, for example? David said, did your Goodwill box $2 a pound? No. It did not come. I don't know if it's shipped. I haven't checked. 'Cause I'm not sure yet, though. But yeah, I hope it's... I mean, here's the thing. When you buy used at $2 a pound, even if there's no figs or anything in there, as long as it's Lego parts, like on-brand Lego, you really can't go wrong with that, I think. $2 a pound is a good deal, so... But yeah, it is not here, and I have not checked. I suppose I could... no, I'm not going to check right now. But it has not arrived. I don't know if it's shipped. Thanks for the welcome. You are welcome. Any plans with Patreon? I think we're going to shutter Patreon, unfortunately. Similar thing to, you know, the YouTube, where it's like that's a way to make the YouTube or the media side of it more profitable, but still it doesn't hit that point where it makes financial sense for us to do it, and it's really, really hard to fulfill that commitment we made to patrons. So I think, in all honesty, 23 it'll almost guarantee be done, or there will be a restructuring of, like, if you want, you can donate $3 to the YouTube channel or something like that, but there are no perks or anything, just because some people still want to do that. However, it doesn't make it just, unfortunately, the YouTube channel, again, with the BrickLink store, it's so hard to, you know, the BrickLink store is so much more important just in terms of revenue that it generates, that it doesn't make sense for someone to spend 6 hours a week or 8 hours a week not focusing on that, to focus on YouTube, and there's other things we want to do and stuff as well. So yeah, I know that's a bummer, but I think Patreon is going to be done. Ben says, how's your store doing, Doug? Any goals for 2023? So 80 ounce domestic is $285, and for us to send 4 ounce to the EU, it's $325 and $425 for USA. Wow, $420. Wow, that's cheap. I think it's like $10, $10.99 minimum for us to send anything international, outside of, you know, like North America or something. So that's not expensive. That's why we don't do a whole lot of international orders, just because the shipping is unfortunately very expensive. All right, Willy Brick Store has about a minute and a half left, and then it is the new year. Yeah, Doug, thank you for the tip on the Goodwill boxes. Those are, again, you know, we bought 150 pounds for 340 something, $350 essentially. That is a great deal. At $250 a pound, you can't go wrong, or whatever that is. You know, again, unless it's not Lego, but I don't expect that to be the case. Expensive for higher weight. That makes sense and stuff. All right, less than 1 minute, Willy Brick Store. Yeah, David's asking some great questions. How did everyone's 2022 go in terms of the goals they maybe set for themselves, and, you know, different things about, you know, what your future in 2023 might be. Good question. Okay, still looking for this 1x3. I'm going to do one more pass. If I don't find this reddish brown 1x3 tile, I'm calling it. We're just going to put this little coffee table there with no tile. Not needed. Not a whole lot of reddish brown left, so I would think I would see it. Alright, I'm going to call it. No more reddish brown. Okay, I want to say Happy New Year to Willy Brick Store. Congratulations, you were in 2023 now. Good luck. Doug says they raised the price to $40 per 10 pounds, but it's sold out. I'm pretty sure they raised it after it was sold out. Interesting. Ben says this year he wants to fill the space he has to get to 700,000 parts and try to do 5 to 10 Lego shows in 2023. Very, very cool. Doug says, well, I got the store open. That may be a leftover goal from 2021. Yeah, very nice. In terms of us, if I want to say what our goals for 2022 were, we did have the goal to move out, I think, but I'd say halfway through the year that goal changed. The goal was to not move out and to really invest the money into the store and into some stuff that was not rent, because rent's just, not that it's an expense that we don't want to at some point have to deal with, but it's really just something that just pulls you down and stuff. But the goal was to more than double revenue for the last year, or actually the hard goal was like, let's double it. We succeeded in that. We didn't move out, which was not really a hard goal, but the goal at some point was to move out. In terms of setting goals for 2023, our goal would be to double revenue again. Paul and I actually built out, like a year ago, a 5-year plan in terms of like what goals are and all that kind of stuff. And I believe next year again is to double revenue, which might be a little difficult in the garage. So that's why we'll see if that happens, because we could max out on our space. But hopefully we can double the revenue. I think that's a yellow one. Is that a green? Double revenue in 2023. A personal goal of mine would be to add new back into the mix of stuff. I'd have to talk to Paul about that, and again, that'll depend on what is all happening with us being in the garage and stuff still. But that's definitely a goal that I would like to try and hit, is to really get back into the new and mix new back into the inventory. Yeah, those are easy goals, I guess. And if we could, my soft goal would be to somehow bring the YouTube channel to a level of profitability where it makes sense for us to make all the videos and stuff. That's way out there, though. I don't know that that's really achievable. We'll see. David says, my goals for this year are 375,000 gross revenue between BrickLink and BrickLink, upload 2 million parts, and sell 1 million of them. Billy Brickstore says, my goal was 1,000 euros a month, but due to the day job, I only reached 7,000 euro this year. Happy New Year, everyone. That's not bad, though. That's still pretty good. Ben says those are some great goals, David. David in 2022 said, moved into a warehouse, have 7 employees, and this thing is basically running itself. Cynthia said, in 2022, I got over 5,400 lots, and my sales were double from the previous year. Just plan to continue to grow. I guess if we're talking piece count, my piece count goal would be to probably hit 800,000 parts next year, or what will be this year in just a few hours. Not that this is a public goal necessarily for just a brick in the bucket. But yeah, I'd say if we hit 800,000 again, that's a hard, depending if we're in the garage still. And I think 23,000 lots, 24,000 consolidated lots would be good this year if we could do that. Mail, welcome to the stream. My goal for next year is to get my store off the ground and also get through my college classes. Very, very nice. I do have a personal goal, which would be to try as much as possible, whatever full-time means, try to do BrickLink full-time in 2023. Not full-time hours, because I already pretty much do that, but potentially it be a large source of my income. That's a stretch, and that's hard, I think, but that would be definitely a goal of mine. Okay, guys, we finished bag 3. Now we're moving on to bag 4, which, again, it's just all poured out in front of me already. Still kind of looking for that 1x3 tile. But I actually might not be. Oh. So there is stuff in this bag. But I thought this was just for the tree pieces to connect it. I have not had to pull anything out of here yet. Yeah. I'll just assume it's in there. Maybe. Mail says, what's the difference between full-time hours and full-time normal? So currently I spend full-time hours in the store each week. But I don't make full-time income at all. Not even close. So by full-time, I mean take the store full-time, whereas it is my sole not my only source of income, but my hopefully main source of income, where I can, you know, spend 40 hours in the store and it actually be my job that is paying me, versus, you know, right now where I'm spending a lot of hours in the store and I'm not making the amount of money that I would need to make in order to quit some other things to spend a little bit more time in the store. So that's a hard one. That's a really hard one. But that would be my personal goal for 2023, to try and be able to do that. I really don't know. I really don't. But that's kind of a dream goal, if you will. Yeah. Ben says I need to see how much I can fit reasonably in the new space. Willie Brickstore says I'm going to put my children to bed now. Thank you very much for taking the time to stream today. I hope you will make many videos in 2023. Have a good rest of your day, and hope to tune in another time. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night, and welcome to 2023. Hope everyone, yourself included, has a great year. Okay, I'm actually going to give up now on that 1x3 tile, and we will continue moving on. And we're going to build a minifig now. So I haven't watched Stranger Things in years, and I know they've come out with new seasons and stuff, but I haven't actually seen it. Uh-oh. Am I missing legs? How am I missing legs? Oh. I think I put the wrong legs on someone. Not good. That's bag 2. Bag 3. Yep, these are the wrong legs. So I don't actually remember all the characters. Yeah, so I do remember it's a good show though, and I enjoyed. I think I've seen. How many seasons have I seen? I think just 2, actually. I don't think I've watched past season 2. I think they have 4 seasons right now, I believe. What a cool little hat though. I know you can't see this, but it's cool. Little slingshot. Of course, you gotta put all the accessories with the minifig. And this little thing. Little flashlight. David says, how much of a super chat to stream all the way to midnight? It's not an option today. Yeah, so David, you weren't here at the beginning, but I had mentioned it'd be fun to do kind of a BrickLink, just a brick in the bucket, something like welcoming in the new year special type thing. So right now that's not on the table, but Paul is also out of town, for those of you who are joining us now. Paul's not in town, he's out in Arizona visiting his grandma. So he's not here, but I have stuff to do tonight, but it'd be cool if next year we could figure out a way to actually like ring in the new year with everyone and have people potentially call in from wherever they're at that are BrickLink related in some way, and see if we can organize something like that. I think it'd be really, really fun. So that's on the table for next year, and it'd be cool to get a lot of people involved in that and do that as a big kind of community type thing. Who knows? You know, we'll see if that is an option and stuff. Yeah, Ben said we'll be interested on the UK side of that. Yeah, no, I definitely have the intention. Like, I just thought about this like 3 days ago, in terms of like ringing in the new year with everyone and stuff. And obviously at that point there's no time to put anything together. Plus Paul's out of town. It just didn't work this year. But I'm thinking maybe next year it'd be really cool to do something like that. So we'll see if that's a thing we can organize. I'd be excited to do that. And yeah, Ben, let's get. I'd love to get people involved from everywhere. I think it'd be really, really cool. And just every hour, however, whatever it is. I mean, in the middle of the Atlantic, I don't think there's a thing, but every few hours do that New Year kind of celebration for whoever's in that area. Yeah, so I think it'd be really, really cool. But tonight, I will not be going to midnight. Sorry, David. Yeah, I'll probably go in for. I'll probably finish this booklet, to be totally honest, which I think finishes the structure of this house. Not that you guys can see much, but I think it finishes. No, maybe. I don't know. It might finish the entire upside portion of this set. Okay, let's keep going. Still on the search for a 1x3 red front tile. I also, I don't know if anyone's noticed, I don't know if you can hear it at all, but I changed the music finally. So it is no longer the music that we had in 2022. We're still in 2022, but I figured this could be a 2023 music mix. So it's a little different. It's no longer the I don't know, like that 21 song that everyone kind of knows, I think, or has heard. It is no longer that kind of stuff. We're doing some new stuff here. I don't know if it sounds good or not, but I briefly listened to each piece before I decided to put it in. Southwood Bricks UK says, I have a full-time job. To be honest, I find it easier to operate the store part-time from home, but not sure what to do next as running out of room. Did you have this? Yes, we have this pretty much right now. So we're fortunate where we have the entire garage, which is about... Why can I not remember how many... Oh, it's not 38 feet by 38 feet. That's massive. I think it's 18 by 18. Yeah, 300. So we have like 300-ish square feet in the garage because there's a washer, a dryer, and a water heater in there that we can't really move. So we have about 300 square feet in the garage, and I think we're fortunate in that sense where that is a lot of space, and a lot of people don't actually have that amount of space. So that's really nice. Maybe 350 max in terms of what we have in there. So we've been for the past year and a half running into, maybe year or so, running into we're out of room again. We're out of room again. We're out of room again. We're out of room. And so we're in this constant little like stage of, okay, what's next after we're out of room in this area? How do we make this work over here? And so we have a pick path, and you only pass everything once. No, that's not true anymore. Sorry. Theoretically, you only pass everything once. We just added another wall, and we'll have not this upcoming Friday. I think this upcoming Friday there's a Brickside Chat podcast coming out, but maybe if Paul and I record it. The following Friday, I don't know, either this next upcoming Friday or the following Friday, there will be a 2023 store tour, which will show a new wall that we've put up in our new kind of pick path and everything. But it is a constant stretch in terms of, okay, we're full again. Can we buy more drawers? How are we going to put them somewhere? Where are we going to do this? So yes, we are very much running out of room. We actually have moved into our family room. We have two. So in terms of the way the house is structured, there's like 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a hallway, and that's this half of the house essentially. And there's like a laundry room, and that's this half of the house, and that's the living area, I suppose, or the private rooms. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And then there's the shared living spaces. There's a front family room area, which is probably 300 square feet maybe. There's a kitchen. There's a dining room. Those are connected as one room, but kitchen/dining room is a big area. And then there is a back living room area, which is big, probably 400 square feet. We have some little bit of work done in that back living room. That's mostly our meeting area, which I don't count as work because it doesn't dedicate that space taken up in there. Our front family room has become entirely Lego focused in terms of that's part of the business now. So another 300 square feet roughly in there that is, maybe not exactly that much because there's a couch in there which we can't use that space, but we're leaving the couch there because it is a living space there. But I'd say we probably used up a couple hundred square feet in that room. So we have a 16-foot wall in that room and then maybe a 12-foot wall, and that's the dimensions of that room. But on the 16-foot wall we have shelves, and we have 60 bins that can fit on that shelf. Those are our 12-gallon like tote bins that we store the majority of our parts in. And again, this will come out within 2 weeks. There will be a store tour and you'll see all this again. So we've had to move into the house, which was really not the intention. And so we have that front room, a couple hundred square feet in there that is occupied for that. So yes, we're constantly in that space of running out of room, and really not sure exactly what to do. I've told Paul we're not it doesn't make sense to move. Paul and I agree on this, I guess. It doesn't make sense to move, like, we've thought about, okay, maybe when we fill up the garage completely, we move some drawer units into the back living room, and we can build more aisleways there. But then your fulfillment area is in 2 spots, and you have to move. It would probably fall apart. That would be an absolute worst case scenario should we financially really have no way of moving out, and we really, really need to continue expanding the store. But at that point, then we have no living area in our house. I would be very frustrated. So that very, very unlikely is incredibly unlikely to happen. But of course that's I don't know. It could happen. But yeah, that's probably worst case scenario. So right now I'd say the store occupies 500 to 600 square feet in terms of space that's actually used. If we chose to lay it out a little bit nicer, which theoretically we could do, it would be a complete overhaul of everything, which would be, I don't know how much space it would really give it, extra space it would give us, but we could totally redo everything in terms of the pick path and remounting drawers and extending or building more walls and moving some desks around and things. We could do that potentially, and then we could get a little bit more space out of it. But the goal would really be to move before that's the case. But if we need to, that's the next option. Yeah. So yes, that was a very, very, very long answer to Southwest Bricks UK question of running out of space. Have you ever had this problem? Oh yeah, all the time. I think everyone has this problem. Okay. Just Brick says, just about done with cleaning. Gonna be a little sad when I shut the lights off and leave. Yeah, I totally think it is. When you shut the lights off for the last time there, and you walk out, you gotta say goodbye. It is sad. Ben says, what sort of space are you working with? I assume that was in reference to Southwest Bricks UK. Wish we had more space in the UK. Fun Brick Creations, welcome back. Southwest says, yes, Ben, we don't have basements or double garages in the UK, just a spare room. Yeah, that is nice, I guess, that we have 350 square feet in the garage. That is not a true living area in the house. And we only recently, within the past 6-7 months, moved into the house. Before that, it was totally segregated. The business was in the garage, and then the house was a complete living area that we were using. And it's only been in the past 6 or 7 months that we've had to kind of blend the two together. And even then, we really try to keep the front room, for the most part, the area where that is the Lego stuff. And then also, like, if Paul, so it just depends, I guess, depending on the weekend. But usually, Paul tries to clean up the front room and put all the tables away and stuff so that it is a living area again, unless he's going to be working on the weekend. But theoretically, it's cleaned up on the weekend. Sorry, I got to keep building, or we're never going to end. But yeah, theoretically, it's cleaned up a little bit on the weekend so that it's not just Lego all the time. But there is still a couch in there and stuff, and a TV and everything. And that's where my fish tank is, so it's, it is nice to be able to be in that room. But it's also cool to work next to the fish tank. Another problem we're having is really deciding how much space we need when we move out. Because, technically 1,000 square feet is close to double what we're using right now. But that's really not that big in relation to what we hope to be able to use. So then there's that question of, is 1,000 square feet, or 1 year or whatever, is 1,000 square feet good enough for a year? And then do we want to make a move twice? Like David just did this, where he made his second move a couple months ago. And it was actually your second move within a year. And so, I don't know if we want to do that, or if we really want to try to know that we have a year's worth of space at minimum, or extend it and say, hey, we can be here for 3 years before we have to move, or whatever that might be. So that's something we have to figure out too, because obviously the bigger the space, the more expensive. And if 1,000 square feet will be enough for the next year, then we should just do that. Okay, I'm looking for this little bucket handle, dark bluish gray bucket handle, to make a little bear trap on the floor, which is actually a very, very cool design. Okay. Doug says if you were to have to do something like split the areas, do it so that only the new parts move inside. That's a great idea, actually. Yeah, very smart. That's not something I had thought about, but that is something when we move out that I think we have the plan to do, because again, I want to add a lot more new. We want to have different sections, something for new and something for used, which should make it a little bit easier to pick. It should also make it easier to add into, because whether we're consolidating or not, if we're consolidating with, we might consolidate new. I think someone does this, where they consolidate new parts, but they don't consolidate used. Maybe that was David, actually. Doug says, bows, I'm good with ideas. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Hopefully, again, we don't get there. But yeah, we do have the plan when we move to, hopefully, be able to have separate sections for that stuff. But again, it'll depend on the size of the place we move and what our inventory is, because I don't want to like totally block out the space for 6 months and not use it because we haven't got back into new yet. So that's, of course, a problem. We don't have basements in Australia, but we do have double garages. As I can't drive, I want my own house with a double garage, so I have heaps of space to expand my BrickLink store and have a good recording space that also isn't my main desk at the same time. That's another thing. It's like if we move, so many ideas popping around, none of which are solidified into anything yet. But like if we do move, do we want a space that we can dedicate as a small like YouTube area that is specific to certain things happening, like videos being recorded, yada yada, whatever. The thing is, once we get to having people always in the store working, that could be a problem if it's not like a secluded space or a space that's slightly separate, just so that people aren't constantly interrupting things. And again, that would be an example of probably a bad investment for a space if we're just only using it twice a week for something. Here's the piece. So yeah, that's of course a thought as well. Is like, well, if YouTube isn't doing great, is that right? Or if YouTube's doing really well, or whatever it is. So there's a lot of things trying to figure out what's happening. Southwest Bricks UK says, obvious solution, just build a room out of Lego. Doug says, as for space to move out, I always hear that you should get much more than you need. I would say, based on your numbers stated, look for no less than 1,500 square feet. Yeah. I don't think we would get less than 1,500. I actually think more of our problem right now is we're trying to figure out, like, do we need more than 1,500? And that's I think the majority of our issue. And then everything here too is like a couple, I'd say the minimum, it also depends on what kind of place you get and where it's at, but the minimum is a couple dollars a square foot, around us. So even 1,500 is like $3,000 a month, which is a decent chunk of change for not a huge place. 1,000 you could probably get for, even 1,000 square feet, I'd say is probably still $2,500 a month, depending where we move. And another thing is I don't really want to drive like an hour to work every day or whatever. That would be a pain. So yeah, who knows? Ben says, that's a lot a month. I was paying $600 a month for 350 square feet. Or 600 pounds a month. Yeah, so that's actually similar. Because you're paying almost, dollar-wise. Dollars to pounds is a little off, but a couple dollars almost a square foot. So, or sorry, which is more pound per square foot than 1,500? But I couldn't have. Yeah, that's true. I guess a storage unit. Actually, yeah, a storage unit here is also probably more per square foot than a larger space would be, I would think. Yeah. Actually, pretty much guaranteed. That makes sense how they make money. Yeah, we're definitely not looking to move to a storage unit, because obviously we have better right now than a storage unit, a lot more space. Oh, you could get about 900 square feet for 1,200-ish. Yeah, so we're looking at probably, unless we get a great deal. There was one place a few months ago. I was so excited because it was the perfect place. The rate was great. It was like 2,500 square feet. There was a large central area, which was the warehouse area, and then there were a few office type things, like 4 or 5 office rooms, plus like a bathroom and a little kitchenette area. And a couple of those office rooms would have been storage. One might have been a YouTube podcast room. And then that main central area, of course, was the actual warehouse. And the rate was phenomenal. It was like, it would have been like $3,500 a month, I think, for like over 2,000 square feet. And I immediately called or emailed or called the person. I think I had to leave a message, and then I sent like a follow-up email as well. And they got back like the next day and said, sorry, we just showed it to someone and they took it. And it was like instant. Like, it was just on the market, and then someone else found it right before us and went and looked at it. It was so sad, because that would have been literally the perfect space. Would have been phenomenal. It was within 15-20 minutes of home, like so perfect. But unfortunately we didn't pull the trigger, or we tried, but we couldn't pull the trigger on that space. But we're kind of, since we're in this weird area where we need to move, sort of, but we're fine here. If something amazing comes up, that could make us be like, okay, well, it's time to move because this incredible opportunity happened. But obviously, if, we're not in a dire need to move at this exact moment where we're screwed if we don't or something. Henry, I don't know if I said hello, but hello. Okay, JustBrick says the consolidating new but not used was me. And Paul is here, and he said, hello, I see you're finally building this set. I am. It took only like almost 2 years. I need to go to here. But yes, I'm finally building this set. I'm not doing much building, though. I will say that. I'm just kind of talking. I've only actually gotten through 2 steps of what is bag 4, but okay. I don't know if I'm going to finish this, actually. And Ben, I believe you are just over a half an hour away from it being the new year where you are. So this is something Lego does, and I don't know if it's just to get the piece count up, but like both sides of this, I've put 3 1x4 plates together to make a 1x4 brick. And that's just how I put it. Is that just for them to get the part count higher? Like, very interesting. Not building much, usually how it goes. Exactly. Funberg Creation says, for me, we're actually 10.5 hours into the new year. Well, welcome to 2023. I'm not there yet, but I'll catch up with you in a little bit. That's right, you were a day ahead. Three of these. Slowly condensing my pile, which is nice. It's making it easier to find things. Oh boy, it's not gonna be easy. I just said it's easier to find things, and now I have to look for a 2x2 tile that is printed or stickered or something, but there's a lot of 2x2 tiles that are in dark tan, so I gotta find the dark tan 2x2 tile. I also gotta find 4 of these. Doug says it may be part count, but also sometimes even just the texture of the plate stacked may be used to create a visual look. That is true. I don't know if these pieces, because they all have studs on the front of them. Okay, yeah, maybe these pieces will show. Maybe you're right there. That is true. Because there was I built a modular a couple years ago, the garage one, and I think that one did a similar wow, words, similar thing where it was the texture of the plates is used. So that is true. These might be showing, since it is the only spot on this wall with no stud bricks. So that could be what this situation is. Oh, here's the tile. Mail says, I swear on some sets I look at the box and I say there's no way there are 200 pieces in this set. That's true. There's a lot of things where you look at and you're like, there's 198 now. I don't know. Looks like 12. Brick West, welcome to the stream. How are you? Happy New Year, or Happy New Year's Eve. Doug says, also, I think some... Sorry, we have a lot of conversations happening now. I think someone putting something together should be accompanied by a wingman, perhaps wings from a Wingstop. Oh my god, Doug. To read the chat. That's what... that was very good. People are catching on that Wingstop for some reason is our thing. Yeah, so that was for a while what Paul and I would do. Someone would build a set while someone would read the chat and stuff. And that worked pretty well. Because someone can be actually putting things together while someone else is doing most of the talking / reading of the chat. That was good with the thing, yeah. All right, Ben says I'm gonna head off before the new year, as I'm with family. Catch you later, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Ben. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. Where was I with chat? Funberg Grace says, yeah, where I live in Australia, 19 hours ahead of you. Pumpkin 142 says, I just got an order from them, and I am more than satisfied. An order from who? Did I miss something? Welcome to the stream, by the way. Welcome. Just got an order from who? Yeah, sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Cynthia says, okay, so my guest arrived and I'm signing off. Have a good night, Cynthia. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good New Year Eve. Southwest Bricks UK says have to worry about room temps in the UK as well, so an office space is better or temperature storage unit. Ah, yeah. Cold though or hot? Does it get really hot there? Because we are in a garage that is not completely insulated, and it definitely gets warm in the summer. Doesn't get freezing here, but do you have to worry? I don't know. Does cold hurt pieces? I wouldn't think cold would be a big issue. Besides, like, the fact that you're in there and you're cold. But, like, I don't think we have a huge issue with the cold in the plastic. But the heat, obviously, over time will start to degrade the plastic. All right, we're moving on to step 4. Or, yeah, 4? I don't know. 5, maybe? Some of the pieces are like kind of together, which is cool. Like they're in the general vicinity of other ones. Maybe I spoke too soon. These are like all over the place. Never mind. Henry says, I think Minifig Mountain said he left some pieces in the mail at 5 and they got damaged. At -5 and they got damaged. Could be his seller sent them in the way, not sure. Yeah, I guess if it gets really cold, I would imagine it gets maybe slightly more brittle. But I would think for plastic it would have to get really cold. Maybe that's cold enough. Yeah, so I try, or we kind of try, and if you saw our latest shipping video, you would, it's kind of a repeat of what I'm saying, but try to ship in boxes when we can, just because it gives a little more protection for the parts. Southwest Bricks UK says cold air in the UK is also damp. I see. Okay, I put a share in. Very nice. Fidel, welcome to the stream. How are you? It has been a long time. Happy New Year. Almost. Oh, Henry, I remember you saying that you put a slope in your car and it's not damaged. Yeah, that's... You say the heat hasn't damaged it, but I bet you it's probably more brittle from heating up and cooling and heating and cooling. It's probably more brittle than a other slope, and if you... Obviously, you need to start with 2 of the same pieces of plastic and stuff at the very beginning, but I bet you it is a little more breakable or fragile than a slope that is has not been sitting in the sun for however long. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just what my thought would be, though. Okay, we're adding some details to the inside of the house here, like little tiles and stuff. But we are approaching the end of the book, which is good. Henry said, I tried to break with my hands, and I could not, but I'm weak and fragile, so there has to be a better way to test. Yeah, there could be a scientific way, which is like measure the amount of pressure that it can take, you know, both before and after, and then also have a control that is also the amount of time that it's been sitting just in a controlled environment that is not getting really hot and stuff, and I bet you it would be more fragile, but maybe not. I also noticed, though, that like plates, for example, seem to break a lot easier, especially in certain colors. So like old blue plates crack very easily. Reddish brown is a color that cracks. Dark red seems to crack. It just becomes really brittle, and it's just whatever plastic it is or whatever color or something. Not entirely sure, but it becomes a little more brittle. Fumber Creation says, if it wasn't for the huge cost, I would like to use boxes more than bubble mailers. It's about $9 for postage instead of anywhere between $2.20 and $5.50 to post, depending on how much the mailer weighs. Yeah, that's a big difference. So for us, it's based on weight, obviously, until you get to a certain size. And then, like, for example, the flat rate mailers, the U.S. Whatever those are actually, flat rate? Priority flat rate mailers. Those are actually a good deal if the weight's over a pound. However, it's still not the most protective versus a box. Okay, I'm looking for a 1x4 brick, and I can't find it. That's interesting. In tan. That's right in front of me. But yeah, we try to ship in boxes because so I mentioned this in the video, but the box that we use weighs just about the same as the bubble mailer. It's just a tiny bit more than the bubble mailer is. And because of that, it makes sense. In terms of cost, they're the same as well, almost. It's like a fraction of a cent difference on them. So we ship in the box just because it's more protective. Our logo gets on there then. It's a little nicer an experience, in my opinion, for the customer to buy it and receive a box versus just receiving a bubble mailer. Did I finish that? No, I messed something up here. But yeah, obviously, depending where you're shipping from and everything, and then the cost of materials. Like, it is cheaper for us to buy bubble mailers that are not recyclable, but I try to go with the recyclable ones, just because it costs more for the business, but it's not entirely 100% based on cost. There is a little factor of like not making the world more dirty or less eco-friendly and stuff. So I try to do that. Henry says dark red and reddish brown are the worst. They are. They're bad. Yeah, reddish brown seems to be the worst, and then reddish blue. It's not a color. Reddish brown is the worst for me, and then blue. A lot of the older blue parts. And then dark red. We don't get a lot of dark red, like large plates, though. So I don't think that's why we see as many of those cracking. But reddish brown and blue for sure. What am I looking for? Windows. that wrong? I think I did this wrong, but like so long ago. Like pages ago. Nope, did that right. Okay, cool. Bradshaw Studio, thank you so much for the super chat. Welcome to the stream, by the way. It's been a little while. Thank you so much for the super chat. Southwest Bricks says, last question, which is not a problem. It's okay. You can ask as many questions as you want. Which is quicker, sorting parts before building or finding what you need as you go? Oh, sorting the parts before building would have been a much better process for this. There's no debate about that. I just, for whatever reason, decided against that, I guess. But yeah, no, that would be the way to do this. Not the way I'm currently doing it. Very inefficient here. Oh, Mail says, in my opinion, finding parts as you go. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't do an exact sort where like I grab every single one of these and put them in a pile, but I would do a more general, like, any plate is over here. Any brick is in this pile. Any tile is maybe in this little pile. That's the direction I would go with it. I wouldn't probably do an individual sort. That might take longer, but looking takes a while for sure, especially when you're not doing it with bags. Yeah, Mail, this is a used set, and all the bags are mixed together. I would never build a set and just like open up bag 1 through 30 and pour them all out and say, okay, let's do this. That sounds awful. But it's essentially what I'm doing right now. So there's a lot of 1x1 bricks in here in light bluish gray. Some of them have the studs on two opposite sides, and some of them just have one stud on one side. And it's really hard to find the ones with two studs. I need a lot of ones with two studs. I need 3. Also, the sand green on here looks to me like, on the printing of the instructions, looks like dark turquoise, which I also talked about a little bit earlier, is the printing seems to be really off. And I don't know if it's just this set or if it's, because this has been sitting for 2 years, I don't know, but very weird. Following up on chat here, Fidel says, the Mexican Postal Service banned boxes with any marks, stamps, or any pattern. Interesting. Now all parcels have to be completely plain. And I stamp my logo on all my boxes. Really? That's sad, I guess. Why? Is there reasoning behind that? Maybe so it's easier to find the barcode or the address on the package? That's sad. If I ship something there, I assume it would still make it. That's sad. That's one of my favorite things. I love that we put our logo on the boxes. Although I did talk about this in the video yesterday, but it's a little time-consuming, and I wish there was a slightly better way. I need one more of these two-sided bricks. This is so hard. It's gotta be here somewhere. Right? Is this it? Hey, we got it. Oh, you guys still can't see what I'm building. We actually still have a lot of pages left. I'm probably not going to finish this up. I apologize. But I've been going for over an hour and a half now, so we're probably on the direction of of wrapping it up. Fidel says, yeah, no problem with incoming international packages. At the beginning, they only banned Amazon and other courier boxes, but at the end, someone thought it was better to ban everything. So they just don't want, like, advertisements on packages, then? I guess that would have been the main reason for, like, Amazon and stuff. Cool little way to build a shelf. I like that. No one's chatting. What's everyone doing? So technically, as you run out of pieces, it becomes easier, but it also becomes harder, because then you're down to, like, if there were a lot of a piece, you now only have, like, one of a piece to find, because it's the last one. Mail says, how did you / people come up with the name of the store? Yeah, that's a good way to hear how other people come up with the name of the store. I'm curious. I started this store back in 2015, I think. Maybe 2014. Probably 2015 though. Yeah, somewhere in there, 2014, 2015, off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly, but, and when I made it, I don't know exactly what made me pick this name, but, so when I looked at it, it was like, there were not a whole lot of people doing YouTube. I think if there were more people doing YouTube, I would have been a little more involved in the community, and I would have went and found, like, other stores and figured out what people name things. But the two people I watched was Clutch from Bricks on the Dollar, who no longer really makes a whole lot of Lego content. He'll do a monthly store tour, I think, but for the most part doesn't really... Like, he had a whole lot of... I think it was called Ask Clutch, I believe is what the series was called. And I watch all his stuff. And then there was Bricksar. And Bricks on the Dollar was a great name in my opinion. And then Bricksar was like something where that's just what he liked. And that was a great way to do it. But honestly, I wasn't involved in any community at that point of anyone. So I didn't really look at other people's names and take other people's names into consideration when I was trying to, you know, build the name. And this was in like towards the end of high school when I was picking it and stuff. And I really didn't have a reason to, like, you know, I didn't want to tie myself directly to it. I didn't want it to be like Evan's Brick Store or any of that kind of stuff. And so I was just thinking of phrases one day or whatever, and eventually I landed on like the name of like, or the phrase of like just a drop in the bucket, or it's a drop in the bucket compared to whatever. And so then I said, oh, it's just a brick in the bucket. As in like, oh, just a drop in the bucket, you know, just a brick in the bucket. Like, that's the phrase that kind of made this happen. I don't know exactly why, though. You know, that's what I completely decided on, because we actually max out the amount of characters that your store name can be. And if I was creating something, I would definitely say our name is too long. way too long. It's not easy to say. You know, it's a lot to say. It's a lot to type. The acronym, like JABIT-B, is not a great acronym. Like, there's a lot of things about it that are not perfect by any means, unfortunately. It is what it is, obviously. That's the name. I don't foresee a name change in the future, or at least not anytime soon in the future. But yeah, that is what kind of how we came up with it, I suppose, or how I came up with it back in high school in like 2015 or whatever, 2014 maybe, when I kind of randomly, you know, just picked that phrase. But I would definitely find a shorter one. And if I was more involved in the community at the time, I think I would have seen a lot of other people's stores. I would have realized kind of a lot of stuff is short. A lot of stuff is named something that's easy to remember, potentially, or has some sort of significance to that person, or whatever it is. But obviously I didn't do that, and I just picked something roughly generic, which actually is maybe okay, and I think maybe is good. And obviously we've kind of built a brand out of it now, but at the time I didn't have the realization that it's really long. It's a really long name, and there's no short way to condense it. Sometimes we'll call it Bucket. Sometimes people call it just a brick. Some people call it Brick in the Bucket. So there's you know, not a whole lot of people say the entire name. When it comes to branding and the way Paul and I say stuff, we try to have the brand and say the entire thing, because that is the name of the entire thing. We try not to truly condense it and stuff and try to stick with it, but it is difficult because it doesn't fit into a conversation. You know, the word just a brick in the bucket doesn't, it's not a quick thing to say. So I would say if you're picking a name, which maybe it sounds like you are, find something shorter. Do not max out the character list of the username field or the store name field on BrickLink. I would not recommend that personally. Okay, Funberg Creature says, I came up with my channel name as I started on Instagram before moving to YouTube. I now don't post much on Instagram, but should get back into posting there. Fidel says, I use the unofficial... Unofficial denimin? Sorry, I'm looking at this word. I don't know if that's a... I don't know what that means. Of my city, Kalichi, and added bricks. People make fun in a good way about it. I found that people like it. Mail said I created my channel name because username for my Roblox account was and / is YouGotMail6, in which most people just called me Mail. Do2Brick says, and now I wonder what would have happened had the character limit for names been just one character shorter. That's true. Doug, what is, I'm sure you've explained this before, what is Do2? I know you've explained this before. I just can't remember. Yeah, I don't know what it would be if it wasn't just a brick in the bucket. But again, it's long, so. Yeah, okay. We're putting the roof on the other side of the house now. Actually, I have not explained this. Oh, okay. I thought you had. Wait. Mail says, I'm wanting to make a first order army. I just hate the fact that the years I decided to stop doing much Lego were the years that all those sets were released. Yeah. Now you're gonna go spend a lot more money to get those figs and stuff. That's the cool thing with Lego, though, I suppose, is that, you know, well, I don't know. I guess it depends on your perspective. As a customer, it could be annoying that it becomes expensive after it's been retired and it sits. But as a reseller or something, you know, it's kind of nice. Could be good that it's more expensive if you bought it at the right time. What happened? There we go. That's weird. Okay, looks like, okay, yeah. So we're gonna start putting bricks on the outside of the house now. That's good. So Doug says I have a new way to get people to pronounce it right, though. Wait, how do I say it? Do I say Dotu? Am I saying it wrong? New way to get people to pronounce it, though. It rhymes in the store slogan, Dotu Bricks, your go-to for bricks. Very good. Mel says, at least knock on wood, the set value didn't go up too much. Is that the small sets that you want to buy? Like the battle pack type things? You want to get a ton of them? Those I haven't seen increase drastically in price. It's usually the larger retired sets. Fidel says, by the way, my store had a great year, up to 207 orders. Very nice. Great profits and expansion. Plus, in May, our local Lego store opened. That's right. Very, very cool. Doug says that was completely correct. Good slogan. Yeah. No, the TIE Fighter and the AT-AT Walker. Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to start putting some tiles on the front of this house. And then, yeah, we're not going to finish this today. And in all honesty, I don't know if we'll finish this on a stream at all. Nope, okay, we're covering up those plates. I lied. So, it's not for decoration in this case. I'm not... Even on the interior, you don't get... It's all covered up by stuff on both sides, and we're covering it with a tile now. So I don't know what the point of that, don't know what the point of the 1x4 plates making a brick was. Just to increase piece count, I suppose. I'm gonna have to focus or I'm gonna screw this up. Oh no, I dropped something. That was the first piece I've dropped in this whole ordeal. For a moment, I thought it was a 1x3 reddish brown tile, but it's not. So they were tan, and they were 1x4 plates, which is why it doesn't make sense. Those are common, like normal bricks for the most part. Remember, Chris says my typewriter videos have started becoming more of the popular videos on my channel at the moment. It's very cool. Wonder why. How's the music level? Is it too quiet, too loud? It's a little late to ask now, but I'm listening to it because I have a pair of headphones there. So it's really, really quiet in the background, but I just figured I wanted to sort of be able to hear what you guys are hearing. And that seemed like a good song. It's over now, but it seemed pretty cool. Oh, that's not right. That is a printed piece. So yeah, we're just putting some bricks on the side of the house now, and then I'll get around to the front. Looks like I missed a piece somewhere. Oh, God. Okay. That's unfortunate. I think that was supposed to be curtains. Now I gotta take the whole roof off to get it done. Oh, no. Wait a second. That wasn't curtains. So what was that? This is quite a few steps behind, though. I do have to take the roof off to get there. There's quite a few steps. It was a 1x1 tan. Wonderful. Renzo says, Happy New Year from the Netherlands. Happy New Year. And welcome to the stream. But also, I also graduated college, and one of the companies I'm applying for is Lego Operations of Mexico. Congratulations. Very, very cool. Doug says, yeah, tan 1x4 bricks should be commonplace, especially with the Coliseum. Maybe they wanted to get some plates out there instead of more bricks. So I envision the Coliseum has more brick than plate. Yeah, I don't know, since I haven't built the Coliseum, but I would probably lean in that direction, that assumption as well. There's the one piece I need, and now I have to slightly disassemble in order to get it in. Yay. Oh, this is going to be easy, actually. I lied. This is not a pain at all. Are you still posting daily, Fun Brick Creations? You were posting daily for a very long time. I don't know if you were still doing it. That's crazy. The 2 bricks says, oh wait, Upside Down is older. Yeah, it's a few years old now. Padded piece count. You think so? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they actually do that or if it's just like it makes more sense at the certain facility that they're, I don't know, packaging at that they have. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. Renzo says my alarm clock goes off in 4 hours because I have to work, but I can't sleep because of the fireworks. Tomorrow's going to be a hard day then. I'm sorry. Sorry, that sounded really sarcastic. I didn't mean it to sound like that. I am actually. Sorry. For you. Okay, we got some stones or some woods or slats or something on this side of the house. Now we got to put it on the front. It sounded sarcastic. I know it did. I'm sorry. That really was not the intention there. But yeah, I apologize. It definitely was not the nicest way to say that. Oh no. There we go. Another piece dropped. I'm good. Number creation. Oh. Doug says, call out to work. Say, I can't make it. I'm sleeping, finally. Where does this one go? Ah. You know what's interesting? This piece didn't come with the set didn't come with a brick separator. Now, I don't know if that was just because it was given to me without a brick separator, or if it actually didn't come with one, but it feels like a set that should come with a brick separator. And I know I have a lot, but this is the first mistake I've made where I need a brick separator. This is sad. Okay, well, how are we going to do this? What do I have around that is small enough to... Maybe these claws? No, that won't do anything. Ideas. I need some ideas as to how to get this tile off. Go get a butter knife. I prefer not to have to leave because the truth is I have trapped myself. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there's a little couch here. There's another little table here with a monitor and the sound stuff and everything. And then there's this table and I'm trapped in a small little triangle. So it's kind of a pain to get out, and I would really prefer not to. So it's just in this really weird spot that I can't even get like my finger under it. This is a tile, so it shouldn't be terrible to get off. It's a tile, yeah. Nail. I know it has it has a groove, but I can't do it. Something real thin. I'm trying to see if there's any pieces that are really thin, but I don't think there are. Work with these claws, see what I can do. Worst case, I call it quits now. Might be time to call it done. It just said you should part out first in drawers and then build. Why would I do that? Why would I? No. I could organize it, but I wouldn't part it into drawers. Okay. This is so sad. But maybe we've reached the end. Let me just give this one shot. Maybe just brute force at an angle. Ah, that's the way. Okay, got it. And then this actually goes one above. So I just got a notification on my watch. Domino's pizza place has something called the pizza tracker, if you've ever ordered from there. Why do I feel like that's the wrong piece? Anyway, and when you order there, it has a pizza tracker thing, and it says, like, you know, your pizza's in the oven. It was made by X person and whatever. They also send a notification as, like, trying to get you to purchase pizza or to buy pizza. And they use the same graphic as the pizza tracker. So I look at it and I'm constantly like, did I order pizza? Did someone order pizza on my account? Like, sorry, I don't know where I'm going with this. Just no one else had anything to say, so I said something. But it's very annoying. It's got like a little thing, and it always makes me, for a brief second, think that someone ordered pizza, and then I have to go pick it up or something. Okay, a couple more of those pieces, and then I think we did this step. This was all one step, by the way. All this stuff on the outside. Funfair Creation says, if I'm rebuilding a set, I normally part it out into colors into clear cups. I don't like the color sort. I'm really not a fan of all the same colored pieces kind of mixed together. I'm personally really don't like that. 1x2. Maybe with building it's fine, but like when we do the, again, we haven't done this in forever, but the classic sets, we parted, for a while, actually I think we still would, we part them into color first. And then after you do the color sort, you part them into each piece. But it's a little harder because there's no variation of color to like pull all the pieces out from after you do that color sort. Now the reason we do the color sort is because the bags are pretty much color sorted anyway, which is like 2 or 3 different colors in a bag. So it kind of makes sense to do that. You wouldn't mix them all together and then sort it. But yeah. If it's a new set, I build a few steps at a time and I put those parts on the plastic lid so they're easy to find. It also says every time I pay my BrickLink seller fees, I get the PayPal notification and think it was a sale. Yeah. When we purchase shipping labels, we get PayPal notifications. And so if I buy a shipping label, or if I'm not here, or I have the PayPal app signed in on my phone, and I always think like, oh, we got an order. And then it's like, oh no, you paid X amount to ShipStation or whatever. And then it's like, oh no, we're spending money, we're not making money. But today we had this really weird thing. So when I woke up this morning, there were no orders. Now I fulfilled orders yesterday at maybe 3 p.m. is when I shipped. And we got 3 orders last night before I like went to bed or whatever. Okay. We did it. Now the other side of the house. Let's go. Yeah, we got like 3 orders last night. And then between last night at like 8 p.m. and this morning at like 10, no orders, which is very rare. Not a single order. Really, really weird. It's never good to wake up and not see a single order that came out or came through. And then this morning, I swear between 10 and 11, we got 8 orders. Maybe 10 and 11:30. It's like all of a sudden there were just so many orders, like rapid fire order. Crazy. Both on BrickLink and BrickOwl, like just very weird. But I guess it was a fine morning, but it was nothing throughout the whole night. That's bizarre. That's like the weirdest thing. I don't know the last time I woke up and have had no orders come in through the night. So I was a little scared for a little bit, but then it fixed itself in the early morning for whatever reason. Okay. After I finish this step, I'm actually going to be done. I promise. So I want to start saying my thank. Well, We got a few more minutes here. I've just barely got through it. I was gonna start saying thank you to watching or for watching. Doug says, depending on the set you're building, I would say a color sort might be useful for running the store. No. Yeah, no, that's I guess that's potentially true. I don't really build sets used ever, actually. So this is a newish experience for having all of the pieces in one pile. When it's totally in the bags, I have no problem with that at all, because you can pour one bag out here, and you can pour the little bag out here with the small pieces, and the other one over here, or whatever it is, and like it's all separated in their own pile. And if you're looking for one piece, you know it's over here because that's where they all are. They don't mix the stuff. So this is slightly new, and yeah, maybe color would have actually been helpful. But we're too far in now to change it up. For anyone in the UK who is still with us, Happy New Year. We are into the new year now for you guys. Sorry, I'm not wearing a lapel mic, so that might have been really quiet. Today's mic is on top of the camera. Same as our last stream. Fortunately, our mic receiver broke, or it just doesn't turn on, the wireless receiver, so we don't have any lapel mics anymore for the time being until... So it's, again, one of those things, talked about the whole thing. Do we invest money into doing YouTube or not? Because like now we got to replace that. And that's a few $100s that I just don't know if we want to spend. For again, something that doesn't generate enough money for the time. Okay, now I'm looking for 1x4 plates and I can't find any. 1x3. 1x3, 1x3. Sorry, tiles, not plates. 1x3. 1x3. Awesome. 1x4, that's the last one I need. Okay. Oh, and I need some more 1x2s. Of course I do. Okay. Well, let's not mess this up now. Let's put them all in the right spot. How much are instructions on Rebrickable? I've never actually looked at those. Doug says, I would like to get to the point where I get orders every night. You will. You totally will. Renzo says, do you have delays in time in orders? I have a new store, and sometimes when I'm bored, I check often for new orders, and then suddenly I have an order which was placed hours ago. No. I don't think so. We pretty much get an email every time we get an order. Yeah, and I can't say... Wait, is that not the last 1x4 I need? No, really? Did I drop one? Shoot. Maybe I just can't count. No, I don't think we get... Found another one. It's okay. It's all good. Happy New Year, Fidel. Have a good one. Have a nice, fun, safe New Year's Eve. What was I saying? No, delay in time and orders, I don't believe so. I don't think that's something I've witnessed. Not to say it for sure doesn't happen, but I don't think, to my knowledge, I've seen it. Because we get an email and we can generally go check immediately, and it's there. And it doesn't seem to have a different time. Depending what time zone you're in, maybe this is what you're looking at. BrickLink orders come in Eastern time in the US. So for example, if we get an order right now, the order time will actually be 3 hours different. So maybe that's why the time is different from what you're saying. If you're checking and there's actually no order there, and then you check 1 minute later and there is an order there, your time might be a few hours off because BrickLink's time is on its own thing. Someone said, I think at some point you could change that in your store settings. I haven't found it. Haven't really looked for it super hard. But yeah, maybe that's what you're thinking of. The time zone time change, and then when you do get an order, it says it's been a few hours old because it looks like it has based on the time zone. Maybe that's probably what's happening. Mail says, what's the difference between BrickLink and BrickOwl? They're just two different platforms. Certain people use one, sometimes they don't use the other, sometimes they use both. We have customers who go on both. I don't know exactly why. Just you can sell. It's just a different platform to sell, and just like you could sell on maybe eBay and Etsy, for example, you could sell on both platforms, just reach slightly different customers. But yeah, same concept. Nothing really super special about either. BrickLink has more customers for sure, but I think BrickOwl has a nicer buying experience. Okay, I think I said I was going to be done after this, so I think I'm done. Here's where we got. Front of the house complete, no roof, probably 6 to 8 pages left on here. You're not gonna be able to see this when I turn around, but there's a little bit of inside detail. It's also out of focus because it's on manual focus. I apologize. But yeah, that's where we're at. From Brick Creation says, on average I get 1 to 2 orders a month, but I think once I upload more and more often, I'll get more frequently. That is absolutely the case. YouTube is my primary focus, and then BrickLink is my next focus. Yeah, for us, in terms of a business making money, it doesn't make sense for YouTube to be our main focus, so we do the opposite of what you do. Funbrick Creation says, I see them saying order time in the US is nowhere near the same time as mine in Australia. I see the time by the email that comes into my Gmail. Yeah, that's true. Your email would have the current time, roughly. Sometimes I've seen, it's really weird. Sometimes I'll be on BrickLink, and I refresh the page or the orders page, or I add a tracking number and I click enter, and then it populates and it refreshes the order page, and I see a new order at the top, but we get the email like 1 minute later. So there is that delay, but that's just the email, I think, being slow. But yeah, okay. Thank you to everyone who's here. We got 8 people still watching. If you did enjoy this and you're signed in and you want to go ahead and click the like button, it's always appreciated. But yeah, thank you to everyone who was watching. Hopefully I answered some questions. Hopefully you enjoyed chatting with me. I enjoyed chatting with all of you, so thank you. Have a happy and safe new year, and to 2023. Hopefully it goes very well for everyone. And hopefully you can see some fun updates from us in 2023. I definitely think, based on some of the feedback I got on this, I might do that additional podcast style thing where we get other sellers involved, and they can kind of call in, and we can see, or hear at least, kind of their experience and stuff. I'll just need to find a good format that is not too repetitive for each store, and kind of find an optimum length and stuff. But yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. Happy New Year, have a happy and safe evening, and we will see you all in the next stream or the next video. Take care.